Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about a new topic. We're going to find out, does God use evolution? I'm actually responding to a comment. It was from a video I think a couple weeks ago. So I want to respond to it. So we're going to read that comment, and then we're going to define our terms as well. But real quick, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I know we're really far away. Don't know how we're going to do this. But I'm speaking it, and I believe we're going to get there. So I appreciate all my subscribers already. So if this is your first time here, subscribe, share, like. Those are the best things you can do to help support this channel and get it growing. So let's jump into this. This is a comment. It's a good question. But I think a lot of people get confused by this. So let's figure out what this says. It says, whoa, whoa, whoa. So this is a response to my video I put out. It's because I always bash evolution. I know sometimes I'm a little harsh, but I think evolution is dumb. So I'm just going to come out and just be real and say it. So let's jump into this. It says, whoa, whoa, whoa. Evolution isn't a swear word. First off, whether there is a God or not, we have evolution going on all the time, all around us and including us. So it's talking about humans. One example is the dog, which de-evolved from the wolf, which we domesticated. Prior to humans domesticating wolves, dogs did not exist. The question is, did dogs evolve or devolve from wolves? Both answers proves that evolution is real. It occurs and is not a religion. Christianity, though, is putting science, more specifically evolution, in the same category by calling it a religion is one of many reasons I'm not religious. Keep it spiritual, keep an open mind, learn what God knows. So I always like talking about creation science and evolution because it reaches out to a different group of people. I don't think enough people talk about this. I try to reach out to a different crowd, because if you can't believe the book of Genesis, the whole entire foundation of the Bible, it just crumbles. So that's why I like talking about evolution, the creation account, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking here in just a second. So let's define our terms. I want to go ahead and talk about religion real quick, and then we're going to get into the meat of this. What is religion? He says this is why he's not religious, and he doesn't think evolution is religion. Evolution is 100% religion. Let's define our terms real quick. Let's look at the term science. The intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. So there's a couple different types of evolution we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about macro and micro, and I'd be careful to call these evolution. So evolution has never been observed on the macro scale. So you're talking about a fish evolving to a giraffe or whatever the evolutionists believe. A fly definitely over time evolved into a dog or a wolf or something. This is where they get confused. Evolution. Let's look at these definitions. The gradual development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form. This has never been observed. So what is religion? A pursuit of interest in which someone ascribes supreme importance. So let's look at those three words. All these words, evolution is 100% religion. You believe you evolved from some creature millions of years ago. Look, if you want to believe that, you have every right to believe it. But this stuff is taught in schools, and it deceives people. So I've knocked that out of the way. Evolution is not a religion. And the Godfather, listen to this video real quick. It's only like 30 seconds. I'll stop it, but you can look this up. This is Richard Dawkins. A woman basically asked him, has a more simple, and again, calling something simple, a cell is more complex than a space shuttle. So let's say an organism is simple and something more complex. It's pretty crazy, but he's going to tell you right here that it's never been observed. And let's watch this real quick. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's subtitles, but just click, you can watch it later. Just Google it. Richard Dawkins question. Just type that in Google.
Can you give an example of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process which can be seen to increase the information in the genome?
So you can read the subtitles there. And he's just thinking here for like 10, 15 seconds. It's forever. Because he doesn't know the answer. This is the godfather of evolution right here. This guy right now living today, he can't answer this question. Because he knows he'd be lying. It's never been observed.
Can you just stop that? I think.
There, he wants you to stop the video, and then he gives an answer. Go ahead and just find the video and watch it. It's hilarious. So let's jump in here. What are we talking about? I hold the position, if you look at the Bible, that the earth is 6,000 years old and God created everything in 6 days. That's what the Bible tells us. We get these 6,000 years because if you look at the time of Adam and Eve up to Jesus' time, that's 4,000 years. And then from Jesus' time to now, that's another 2,000 to 6,000 years. So that's what the Bible tells us. So The next position I hold is that evolution is the most dangerous religion in the world. I just took that out. It's a religion. Evolution is not science. Science is supposed to be observable and experimental. This is a graph from National Geographic. I pulled this, and this tree of life, or whatever you want to call it, saying we evolved from sea sponges up to the bears and sea creatures, and now we're humans. This is completely insane. This is a religion. If you want to believe this, go ahead. The only place this exists is in the textbooks and in your mind. So let's define our terms real quick. Evolution. We have macroevolution and microevolution. There's a few other types, but this is what this guy is getting at in this comment. Macroevolution refers to major evolutionary changes over time, the origin of new types of organisms from previously existing but different ancestral types. Examples of this would be fish descending from an invertebrate animal or whales descending from a land mammal. The evolutionary concept demands these bizarre changes. And I want to know where all the transitional fossils are as well. I wish I could remember his name. I was listening to a CD or something a long time ago, and there's an evolutionist. He's got tens of thousands of fossils. He says there are 0 transitional phases, transitional fossils of one animal evolving into another. I would think we would at least find some, but we find none. So that's macroevolution. That's one animal evolving into a totally different animal. Like it says right here, a whale from a land mammal. It's completely insane to me. Now, what we have here is we're going to talk about macroevolution, and I'm cautious to call it this, but this is just variations within a gene code. This is just an intelligent designer saying we can adapt. I'm going to show you what I'm going to talk about here. Microevolution refers to varieties within a given type. Changes happen within a group, but the descendant is clearly of the same type as the ancestor. Listen to that, the same type. We're going to show you some examples here. This might be called variation or adaptation, but the changes are horizontal in effect, not vertical. Such changes might be accomplished by natural selection, in which a trait within the present variety is selected as the best for a given set of conditions, or accomplished by artificial selection, such as when dog breeders produce new dogs. So that's what microevolution is, and I call this is variations within the gene code. So you have long-haired dogs, short-haired dogs, but the beginning animal is a dog and the end animal is a dog. This isn't evolution, this is variations with the gene code, and this is where this gets completely blown out of proportion. They say, oh, we can observe these, so obviously people descended from fish and to apes and whatever they believe in now hundreds of millions of years ago. Look, if you want to believe that, you can. I just get fired up because this stuff gets taught in schools, and it's completely insane. It's taught like it's fact. So I'm going to give you some examples, very convincing stuff. So does the Bible talk about this? And the answer is yes. Genesis talks about how animals, trees, fruit trees, whatever, they're going to bring forth after their kind. This word kind is used 10 times just in the book of Genesis, but it's used all throughout the Bible. So we're going to figure out, what does this word kind mean? I'm just going to have a few scriptures here just to show you. And it says Genesis 1:11, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit, after his kind. What is his kind? Whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Genesis 1:12, very next verse, and the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. So God is telling us all throughout the Bible that animals and plants, they're going to bring forth after their kind. And we're going to define this term in just a second. Genesis 1:21. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the water brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:24, a few verses later. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. Next verse, Genesis 1:25. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. I know I'm getting annoying driving a point. I'm just showing you that God takes this very seriously. He tells us this. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 6:20, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And this is the last one on this word kind. Deuteronomy 14:15, and the owl and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo and the hawk after his kind. So creationists agree that a kind is probably most related to the family. You have the taxonomic rank, and keep in mind this hierarchy here that you're seeing. This is divided up by man. Man created this. God didn't. So man says you have species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. So creationists mainly agree that a kind is probably most related to a family. No one was there at the beginning. Everyone's dead by now. So, but this is a pretty good key indicator that this is what kind represents as the family. So what is the family? Family is in turn more specific. Some families in the order Carnivora, for example, are Canidae, dogs, wolves, foxes. Then you have a group for cats, a group for skunks, bears. There are a total of 12 different families. So to me, this is probably a pretty good definition. So back to that original question that dogs probably evolved from wolves. That's probably so, and I would call that variations within the gene code. I wouldn't call that macroevolution. If you look at this picture, my 4-year-old daughter, I can show this picture and she'll probably say, you know what, these are probably all related. Look at the dog, the wolf, the coyote, the jackal, the fox. If you look at these, the beginning and end product is something similar to a dog, but you're going to see here, I'm going to show you that there's actually limitations within this. But when you look back at this picture, it looks like they're all pretty similar, and there's limitations. They only go so far. I'm going to show you. So let's look at this. Did you know that all these cats have a common ancestor? Can you guess what it is? It's a cat. So you have the panther, you have a lynx, the cheetah, jaguar. They're all cats. They all look like they're probably from the same kind. And if you saw through the Bible, Genesis, God tells you that they bring forth after their kind. This isn't evolution. This is variations with the gene code. This is just an intelligent designer saying, hey, we can adapt. You have long-haired cats, short-haired cats, long-haired rabbits, short-haired rabbits, live in different climates and cultures. So this is just variations within a gene code. This is not macroevolution. You never see something like this evolve into something else like a giraffe or a bird or something. It's all in your head. It's in the textbooks. It doesn't exist. Look at this. This is actually a new animal, a zonkey. But if you look back, pull up a picture of a donkey and a zebra, they both look pretty much like a donkey. Look at this. Did you know that all of these dogs have a common ancestor? It's probably a dog. See, this is using existing information. There's no new information that was added. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about these dogs, as most of these breeds were created within just the last 150 years. So you can take a handful of dogs, jump off Noah's Ark, and you can have tons of dogs many years later. So let's jump into this. Who chooses to recognize new dog breeds? The American Kennel Club is the official registry of purebred dogs across America. They are responsible for declaring which breed of a dog is recognizable as purebred. There are over 350 dog breeds in the world. However, the AKC only acknowledges 195 breeds. The criteria that must be met is that the breed must be bred true. For example, if a Labrador breeds with another Labrador, they will produce dogs easily identified as a Labrador. A full list of the American Kennel Club breeders can be found here. You can click the link, go to it. I thought this was interesting. This comes from Answers in Genesis, awesome website. Even more amazing, the vast majority of these breeds are fewer than 500 years old. Indeed, most are fewer than 150 years old. So what's interesting is I did a video a few months back about how all the animals fit on Noah's Ark. And if you look at all the animals today, there's obviously many more. All of these dogs weren't on Noah's Ark. You can just have a few handful of dogs and you can create all the dogs that we have today. And I outlined that in the video. You can go back and find it. I'll see if I remember, if I can drop a link below. Most are fewer than 150 years old. Biologists are puzzled about how tiny genetic changes can produce so many dog varieties in such a short period of time. So it even baffles scientists. I thought this was cool. I used to have a Doberman, miss my Doberman. But this is a new dog breed just created in 1895. Hasn't been around that long. So you can see dog breeds can develop very quickly. Oh, here's an interesting article I found, and I'm going to show you, this is where there's limitations. Read this real quick. Thus, it may be technically true, we're talking about rabbits here. Thus, it may be technically true to say that rabbits from Florida and Minnesota can interbreed, and hares from Minnesota and Alaska can interbreed, while Alaska and Florida remain totally incompatible. There's limitations to how far these can go. And I've got a couple more cool articles I'm going to show you. See, you're never going to have a dog the size of Texas, and a cockroach is never going to be immune to a hammer. There's limitations. You only can go so far. And we're going to look at this next article, look at bulldogs. These bulldogs are probably going to be gone very soon. They're going to be gone. They've been bred too much, and there's limitations, and they're dying off. They're having issues. I would even say with Dobermans, my Doberman had hip dysplasia within just a couple years. So these dog breeds are getting worse. The English bulldogs dying to please. The English Bulldog now ranks as the _4 most popular dog breed in America. This statistic has veterinary experts worried, and for good reason. Once considered healthy dogs, remember they were healthy, not anymore, 73% of bulldogs now suffer from hip dysplasia, a genetic condition that causes painful limping and arthritis. My Doberman had that. Their face and jaw are so badly compressed that there isn't enough space to fit all of their teeth. I used to have a pug too back in the day, and I used to snort all the time, causing crooked teeth and painful overcrowding. Most bulldogs have elongated soft palates and leave them gasping for breath, or worse, hospitalized with heat stroke after a few minutes of exercise. And I can confirm that. I used to have a pug. He had the same issue. The English Bulldog now suffers from every genetic disease possible, and most die an early death. A recent survey by the British Kennel Club revealed the average lifespan of America's favorite mascot is only 8.25 years. Wow. Almost 30% shorter than all other dog breeds. Humane Society President Wayne Pacelli calls the English Bulldog the most extreme example of genetic manipulation in the dog breeding world. Listen to this. Originally considered a healthy and athletic breed, bulldogs have been transformed into a monstrosity of genetic illnesses. There's limitations here. It can only go so far. With A-list celebrities spending as much as $50,000 on a bulldog puppy, reckless breeders continue to destroy the health of the iconic breed by creating puppies with gigantic heads, heavy wrinkling, and short, unnatural bodies that are barely functional. Here it is right here. Are we driving the bulldog extinct? English bulldogs can no longer breed naturally. The male bulldog's heavy front and awkward shape make reaching the female all but impossible. For bulldogs, letting nature take its course can be deadly. Males become exhausted, and without being supervised, will overheat, vomit, could die due to the strain. Bulldog puppies have heads so large they can't fit through their mother's birth canal, resulting in 80% of bulldog births being performed via cesarean section. So that's all I have. So this is just driving the point. When it comes to, what do you ever want to call it, evolution, there's certain limitations. Our dogs, wolves, foxes, they all probably came from a common ancestor. No one knows what those kinds were, but when you sit back and look, my 4-year-old daughter can even figure out that both those probably come from the same animal. Same thing with cats, donkeys that I showed you. So these are limitations within the gene code, and God tells you all throughout the Bible that animals, plants, fish, birds, they're all kind of produced after their kind, and that's all we see today. I've never seen a dog produce a cat. I've never seen a frog produce a bird. It doesn't happen. We see animals bring forth after their kind. That's it. Here's the last slide. I like ending with this every single time. If you're not a Christian, this is how you do it. This is arguably one of the most important scriptures in the Bible. Romans 10:9 and 10. It says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So what does this mean? You just sit down, you just a prayer you say out loud in your room. You just say, hey, Jesus, I'm a sinner. I believe you died for my sins. I want you to come in my life and take over. I believe you died on the cross. You rose again 3 days later, and I want to be with you in heaven. Just come into my life and take over. It doesn't matter what you've done. Maybe you've done some bad things in your life. You're forgiven. That's what's cool. It's a gift. Can't lose it either. So that's all you have to do. You just say that prayer and then go grab a Bible. I read King James. That's what I prefer. And then start with the book of John. You have the Old Testament, New Testament, and then start with the book of John. I love that book. Talks about the birth all the way to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, and it'll get you on track where you need to go. So that's it. And again, if this is your first time here or been a few times, like, subscribe, share. It's the best things you can do to help this channel grow. And I read all my comments, even the negative comments. I like negative comments because they actually give me Bible topics, and that's where I got this topic from. So anything you want to discuss, let me know. And I read every single comment, and I love hearing whether they're positive or negative. So that's it. I'm going to see you guys next Monday. See ya.